Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos and good afternoon. As we take our places in the sanctuary, and in a few moments I'm sure we'll welcome those who are a little late to the service, I want to welcome you and encourage you to take hold of our prayer book in front of you. The Hebrew prayers, English translation, transliteration, and commentary are in the book to help all of us feel engaged with our prayers today. A special word to Cookie's friends who are to my left and around the sanctuary. Boys and girls, we're very happy that you're here to respect and honor the worship service that we're going to share. In addition, those who are Emory Wiener students, our premier middle school Jewish day school in our city, Mr. Dow is very pleased that you're here today, and he takes note of your behavior in our sanctuary as well as in our social hall. So as your friends come in and join you in a moment, we will be making note of all that we're doing together, and I hope that you'll share this word with your friends when they come in too. We'll continue in our prayer book on page 220.
Ashrei yoshvei veitecha, od yahalalu hasela, Ashrei ha'am shekahalo, Ashrei ha'am she'adonai Elohav. Happy are those who dwell in your house. They forever praise you. Happy the people who have it so. Happy the people whose God is Adonai. We continue responsively. David's song of praise. I will extol you, my God and sovereign, and bless your name forever and ever.
Every day will I bless you and praise your name forever and ever.
Great is Adonai and much acclaimed. God's greatness cannot be fathomed.
One generation shall laud your works to another and declare your mighty acts.
The glorious majesty of your splendor and your wondrous acts will I recite.
They shall talk of the might of your awesome deeds, and I will recount your greatness.
They shall celebrate your abundant goodness and sing joyously of your beneficence.
Adonai is gracious and compassionate, slow to anger and abounding in kindness.
Adonai is good to all, and God's mercy is upon all God's works.
All your works shall praise you, Adonai, and your faithful ones shall bless you.
They shall talk of the majesty of your sovereignty and speak of your might.
To make God's mighty acts known among mortals
and the majestic glory of your sovereignty.
Your sovereignty is eternal. Your dominion is for all generations.
Adonai supports all who stumble and makes all who are bent stand straight.
The eyes of all look to you expectantly, and you give them their food when it's due.
You give it open-handedly, feeding every creature to its heart's content.
Adonai is beneficent in all ways and faithful in all works.
Adonai is near to all who call, to all who call upon God with sincerity.
Adonai fulfills the wishes of those who fear God. Adonai hears their cry and delivers them.
Adonai watches over all who love God, but all the wicked God will destroy.
My mouth shall utter the praise of Adonai, and all creatures shall bless God's holy name forever and ever.
We will bless you, God, now and always. Hallelujah.
We continue now with Tefillah on pages 226, 228, and 230. Please rise. Adonai sefatayv tiktach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'Konei hakol, v'zoher hasdei avot v'imahot, umevi geula livnei v'neihem, leman shemo be'ahava, melech ozer umoshia umagen, baruch atah Adonai, magen Avraham, ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor leolam Adonai, mehaye hakol atah, rav lehoshia. Mehakel hayim bechesed, mehaye hakol berachamim rabim. So make no flim verofei holim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al givurot, Umidom melech memit umechaye umatzmiya Yeshua v'ne'eman atah lehahayot hakol baruch atah Adonai mehaye hakol. You are forever mighty, Adonai. You give life to all. You sustain life through love, giving life to all through great compassion, supporting the fallen, healing the sick, freeing the captive, keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, source of mighty acts? Who resembles you, a sovereign who takes and gives life, causing deliverance to spring up and faithfully giving life to all? Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Page 232.
Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, keshem shemakdishim lo tobi shmei marom, kakatuv al yad neviecha, v'kara zel ze ve'amar, kadosh, 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 Adonai tzevaot, meloch ol haaretz, kivodo. Adir, adirenu, Adonai, Adonenu, madir shimacha b'chol haaretz, baruch kivod Adonai bimkomo. Echadu Eloheinu, hu avinu, hu malkeinu, hu moshienu, vehu yashmienu, verachamav leinei kol chai. Ani Adonai Elohechem, imloch Adonai leolam, Elohai Sion, ledor vador, hallelujah. Ledor vador nagid golecha, ulenetzach netzachim kedushatcha nagdish, v'shivracha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush, leolam vahed. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
We will declare your greatness, and for all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Please be seated. We will continue on page 234. You are one, and your name is one, and there is none like your people Israel, a people unique on earth. A garland of glory have you given us, a crown of salvation, a day of rest in holiness. Abraham and Sarah rejoiced in it. Isaac and Rebekah sang. Jacob and Rachel and Leah and their children were refreshed by its rest. A rest of love freely given, a rest of truth and faithfulness, a rest of peace and serenity, tranquility and security, a perfect rest which you so desire. May your children come to know that this sacred rest links them to you, and through their rest, they sanctify your name. We read together, "Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot and grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness and gladden us with salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Adonai, God, grant as our heritage your holy Shabbat, that Israel who sanctifies your name may rest on it. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat." Page 238. Modim anachnu lach sha'ata hu, Adonai Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu leolam va'ed. Sur hayenu magen yishenu ata hu lador vador. Nodeh lecha unsaper tehilatecha al hayenu, Hamsurim beyadecha, va'al nishmotenu hapkudot lach, va'al nisecha shebehol yom imanu, va'al niflotecha v'tovotecha shebehol eit erev vavoker v'tohorayim. Hatov kilo halu rachamecha, v'ham rahem kilo tamu hasadecha, me olam kivinu lach. Va'al kulam yibarach v'yitramam shemha, makenu tamid leolam va'ed. V'hol ha'chaim yadua sela, v'halalu et shemha be'emet. Ha'el yeshuatenu ve'etzratenu sela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'tov shemha ulaha na'et lehodot. We read together in the middle of the page. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one, whose mercies never end, O compassionate one, whose kindness never fails, we forever put hope in you. For all these things, O sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. We read together in the middle of page 240. Grant abundant peace to Israel, your people forever, for you are the sovereign God of all peace. May it be pleasing to you to bless your people Israel in every season and moment with your peace. Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki Ata Melech Adon Lechol HaShalom. Ata Melech Adon Lechol HaShalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarich et amcha Yisrael b'chol eit ub'chol shah yishlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Nasim leolam.
We pray silently.
Oh, say shalom, shalom b'romav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Israel ve'imru amen. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Amen. Oh, say shalom, shalom b'romav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Israel ve'imru amen. Ve'al kol Israel amen.
In our prayer book, we turn to page 244 as we prepare for the reading of Torah. Ein kamocha v'Elohim Adonai v'ein kamasecha malchutcha malchut kol olamim umamshaltecha b'chol dor v'ador. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai oz le'mo yiten, Adonai barech et amo v'ashalom. There is none like among the gods, Adonai, and there are no deeds like yours. You are sovereign over all worlds, and your dominion is in all generations. Adonai reigns, Adonai has reigned, Adonai will reign forever and ever. Adonai will give strength to our people, Adonai will bless our people with peace. And now it's a privilege to invite Cookie's grandparents to join us on the bima as we prepare to pass the Torah from generation to generation. Now as we open the doors of the Holy Ark, we rise.
Adon olamim.
As we take our places at the Holy Ark, We appreciate the long way that we have come as a people, the long way that the Torah has come along with us, as our Israelite ancestors made a promise so long ago that in exchange for the gift of Torah, they would give these teachings to their children and to their children's children. And so what a dear privilege it is today to see that we have kept our promise. We have done the mitzvah to continue the teaching of our sacred texts. And so it's a joy now to pass the Torah and all its teachings from grandparents to parents to child.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hish tahavu lahar kodsho ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Exalt Adonai our God and bow down toward God's holy mountain, for Adonai our God is holy.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadlul Adonai iti, uneromema Shemo yachdav. Lecha Adonai hagedula, hagedula, hativeret, netzach b'chahon, kichol b'shamayim uvaretz, kichol b'shamayim uvaretz. Lecha Adonai hamolava, ehamid naseh lechol lerosh.
And now as the Torah rests before us, Cookie's friends, those who have been or will soon become bar mitzvah, this is the moment of highest honor that we pay the Torah and our tradition. So rather than getting up and moving around or leaving the room, this is the moment we focus on what we'll hear and what we should learn. This Shabbat, we read from the portion called Lech Lecha, beginning in Genesis chapter 12, verse 1. It's a privilege to call to the Torah, to recite the blessings as we give thanks to God for its gifts. Natalie Sikora, Leah Isgur, Ashley Roseman, Ann Golan-Turnick, please come forward. Baruch Adonai Hamarach Le'olam Vahen.
Baruch Adonai Hamparach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam, Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Hamim, V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Stay right here, right here.
Amen. Vayomer Adonai El Avram, Lech Lecha, Me'artecha, Umi Moladetecha, Umi Beit Aviha, El Haaretz Asher Arecha. Ve'ezha legoy gadol, va'avarechecha, va'agadela shemecha, ve'yeh beracha, va'avarha mivarhecha, kalelha aor, v'nivrehu v'ha, Kol mishpehot ha'adama vayelech Avram ka'asher diber elav Adonai vayelech ito lot ve'Avram ben hameh shanim ve'shivim shana b'tzeito meharan. Vayikach Avram et Sarai ishto ve'et Lot ben Ahiv ve'et kol rehusham asher rahashu ve'et hanefesh asher asu ve'haran vayetu la'lechet arza Canaan vayavohu arza Canaan.
Asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam ata b'tochenu, Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
So nice, beautiful.
Ta'amod shira la'aliyah la Torah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah. Vaya avor Avram ba'aretz ad mikom Shechem ad Elon Moreh v'hakinaani az ba'aretz. Vayera Adonai el Avram. Vayomer lezar aha etain et haaretz hazot vayiven sham mizbeach ladonai hanir et elav vayatek misham hahara mikedem levet el vayet aholo beit el miyam v'ha'ai mikedem Vayiven sham mizbeach ladonai, vayikrav b'shem Adonai. Vayisa Avram haloch v'nasoa ha-negba, vayehira av ba'aretz, vayered Avram mitzrayma legor sham, ki haved hara'av ba'aretz. Vayehi kasher he kriv lavo mitzrayma vayomer el Sarai ishto hinena yadati ki ishat yetvamar et at. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata betohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Today I read from Lech Lecha from the book of Genesis. Lech Lecha means to go forth. In my Torah portion, God speaks to Abraham and tells him to go forth from your land, your birthplace. God commands Abraham to leave Haran, where he has lived his whole life, and at the age of 75, start over in a new place. God tells Abraham that he will bless him and his family, and they'll become a great nation. God chose Abraham because God knows idol worship always seems strange to Abraham. While growing up in Haran, Abraham always questioned, how is it possible for this wonderful world to have been created by something manufactured of wood or stone? This is the start of Judaism. Abraham must have faith in God to make this big change. He is leaving behind his homeland full of idol worshippers to begin a new life in a new land and ultimately a new religion. Abraham takes his wife Sarah, his nephew Lot, and all their possessions and people and heads for Canaan. We learn from our religion, God chose Abraham as the founder of the Jewish people because of his wisdom and bravery. Abraham was not afraid to ask hard questions or to stand up for what he believed. He was willing to risk ridicule, even suffering persecution for his convictions. Abraham was willing to lead the minority of those who believed that idolatry was wrong and to devote his life to teaching that one God was the creative source of all life. Those qualities made him a gifted leader. I recently made some big changes in my life. This year, I decided to leave competitive gymnastics and start attending the Emery Weiner School. This was a major decision for me because I had been competing since kindergarten and doing school at my gym since 3rd grade. Like Abraham, I left behind a place where I had been comfortable for a long time, but I felt ready for something new, and I decided to go forth. A big factor in my decision was my desire to connect with my Jewish identity, because that was something I felt was missing from my life. Even though my decision was my own, it was still scary and required me to have bravery like Abraham. Coming into a new school and trying new sports as a 7th grader was nerve-wracking, but because of my faith in God, I knew everything would be okay. On this special day, I offer a prayer to God. God, I am so thankful to be surrounded by my family and friends. I am so grateful to be able to have a large celebration like this that wouldn't have been possible just earlier this year. I am blessed to have so much of my family living in Houston and that we can see each other so often. Mommy, you are the best traveling partner anyone can ask for. No matter if we're in a fun city like Las Vegas or a not-so-fun city, you have never missed a meet or game. I know I will always see you in the crowd cheering loud for me no matter how many times I fall or mess up. Even though I am difficult sometimes, you support me in every decision I make, and I love you so much. Daddy, I can always count on you to say yes, whether it's getting Smoothie King, staying up late, or sitting in the front seat before I was allowed, and we won't tell Mommy. Thank you for driving me wherever I need to go, and even though I'm on my phone, you always make sure I look up to see the sunset. Mimi, whenever you picked me up from gymnastics, I always knew that there would be a full-size candy bar in the back seat. Now I love when we spend time together swimming at your house. Zadie, during the pandemic, when we couldn't see each other as much, I love that you would always text me jokes to tell my whole family. Now that we can see each other more, I'm glad we can grill at your house again. Cece, you always get me the perfect monogram gift that I didn't know I needed, like my jewelry pouch and suitcase that I now use on every trip. Papa, thanks for being my biggest fan in whatever I do. I know that in every decision I make, you are there to support me. Bubby, I love spending time with you and Jolene in Galveston. I always know you will pull out the giant cheese drawer and we'll bake cookies and watch Flea Market Flip. Nana, although we never had the chance to meet, I know you have been with me this entire time. Jack, spending time with you in Horseshoe Bay and door dashing food late at night when Mommy and Daddy are gone are just some of my favorite memories with you. I know I can be mean to you and give you a hard time, but I really do love you. And to my tutor, Hannah Hoffrichter, I could not have done this without you, and I'm so lucky we got matched up. You made this journey fun and easy, even for someone who had not gone to any Hebrew school. Finally, I want to thank the rabbis and everyone for making this day possible and getting me to where I am today. I hope to always feel inspired by the important lessons from the Torah. Shabbat Shalom.
Cookie, it's that time to take a deep breath and to know that you've accomplished what you came here to do. And as you look at your family and friends who are here, I think you're right. How fortunate we are that we can begin to gather the way that we like. One day more of us will take off our masks, but we'll be patient in the interest of good health. Cookie, your parents are so overjoyed today because everybody brings a natural amount of fear and nervousness to this day because it means so much to everybody. But we knew that you were going to do it because that's the way you approach everything in your life so far. And your Torah portion today, well, not only did you chant it perfectly and lead the prayer so beautifully, but behind that beautiful smile and everything that you brought by way of energy and commitment is sincere and genuine. And your Torah portion was perfectly chosen for just the right reason. We might say it was bashert. It was really meant to be. In a young life like yours, as we see it, it isn't often that somebody makes a big change to detour and go in a new direction. To let go of gymnastics and choose Emery Weiner and Judaism and many other interests that will be yours forever takes a lot of soul searching, a lot of decision making. In fact, when Abraham left because God told him to, it said, "And I will send you to the place that I will show you." God didn't even tell him where he was sending him specifically. But most important, and I watched as you chanted those two words in Torah, God said to Abraham, "Yehei bracha," be a blessing. And that's really all that we need you to do. We know you'll keep smiling. We know you'll continue to be bright and athletic and outgoing and friendly and all the marvelous qualities we've come to know about you. But in the back of your mind, whether you succeed or stumble, that's part of life. We know there'll be much success for you in the future. And if you stumble, well, you're a gymnast. You know how to get up again and make your way. But most of all, simply be a blessing to yourself, to your family and friends, and to all who have the privilege to come to know you as you continue to grow. Cookie, if you're a blessing in the future, as God said to Abraham, you may not be the father or mother of a whole people, but oh my goodness, the life that you're going to have in the future will certainly be a small reflection of this magnificent day that you've created for yourself and for all of us to enjoy with you. Cookie, we're very proud of you, and I'm delighted to see how you have grown. I've known your family for a very long time, and it's just a lot of nachas, a lot of joy that we share today, that another generation takes its place on this bima to continue to grow in Judaism, in life, and in all the ways that God intends for you to grow. Mazel tov to you. And Cookie, I have some gifts for you from the congregation that are really a pleasure to share with you. A Kiddush cup from Sisterhood that you'll take home and raise to sanctify holidays, to bless the Sabbath with Kiddush wine. A gift certificate for $250. This is to be used to pay your way to Israel with a Reformed Jewish trip in high school or college, to return to the place where it all began, but also not just to see history and archaeology, but to see innovation and ingenuity. That cell phone you mentioned is filled with technology that was created in Israel, so use it well. And finally, your certificate of bat mitzvah. It says you really did it. You were called to the Torah finally on this special day to read from Lech Lecha, a portion that was especially chosen for you. And now, most important is to invite Rabbi Scott to share with us the blessing of old as we invite you to stand here and face the Holy Ark behind me. It's our privilege to bless you on this day so that the blessing that has been offered for generations may go well with you now, this day, and for many years to come.
Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and protect you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha vichuneka.
May God's countenance shine upon you and always be good to you.
Isa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom shalom.
May God grant you, Cookie, all that you wish for yourself, all that your family and friends wish for you too. May it be long life, good health, mitzvah, and a lifetime filled with peace.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Mazel tov, Cookie.
Thank you.
You can return to your seat. Beautiful. And now we prepare to return the Torah to the Holy Ark. As we raise the Torah, we rise. Yehalalu et Shem Adonai ki niskav shemo levado. Let us praise the name of the Lord, for God's name alone is exalted. In our prayer book, we turn to the bottom of page 282 and 287, and we join in Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latet gdula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu ki'ue haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot adama, shelo samchokenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol amonam, v'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu, v'nemar v'haya Adonai, lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, Bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo, u'shemo, u'shemo echad.
Remain standing.
We turn now to page 294. And as we do, we call to heart and to mind all of our loved ones who have departed this earth and gone on to the peace of life eternal. And on this Shabbat, we are especially thinking of those members of Cookie's family who are here with us today in spirit. Lovingly, we remember Cookie Sr., Lillian Swesnick, Bob Swesnick, Shirley Sr., Joe Sr., Polly Wilmoth, Grady Wilmoth, Reva Isgur, Mayor Isgur. In each of their honor and their memory, we join together now in words of Kaddish. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah, v'alman divrach yurtei v'amlich malchutei, v'hayachon v'omechon uv'chayei dehol beit Yisrael, Ba'agala v'zman kariv yimru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevarach le'alam almei almaya. Yit barach v'yit shtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit romam v'yit naseh. V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei dekudisha, v'richu. Leila min kol v'yirchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, damiran bi'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom v'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the one who creates peace on high help all of us to know peace here on earth below, as together we say, amen. Please be seated. At this time in our service, our formal prayers have ended, but our blessings continue. And so I'd like to invite Cookie to join me once again here on the lower bima, this time to be accompanied by your parents so that they may share some personal words with you at this time.
Cookie, I am so proud of you. You did beautifully here today. You worked really hard learning your Torah portion and prayers and writing your speech, and it shows. It is so special to me that you read Lech Lecha, the same Torah portion that I read 30 years ago at my bat mitzvah, and Papa read 60 years ago at his bar mitzvah. When Daddy and I got married, my mom made a toast to us. She described me as loud, wild, and temperamental. She said she waited for me to grow out of that phase, but it never happened. She also said life with me was fun and exciting, and she wouldn't have it any other way. Sounds like someone I know. Cookie, life with you is always interesting. You are constantly surprising me and amazing me. You have a strong personality, but it makes you who you are. When you were about 4 years old, you decided you were ready to take charge of your life. You wanted to pick what clothes and shoes we would buy and what you would wear to school every day. And sometimes you even give me parenting advice. Like Jack's first day being dropped off at preschool, he was crying, and I started crying, and you told me, "Pull it together, Mommy, say bye and go." Unfortunately for you, we could not let you make all life decisions at 4 years old. But pretty soon, we started letting you make some big ones. We followed you into the world of competitive gymnastics, and before I knew it, we agreed to switch to a further away, more serious gym and let you leave Coulter to homeschool there. I couldn't believe it. It wasn't what I had pictured our life to be like, but it was great. I tried to get on board and be a good gym mom, but I didn't always video every routine, and I never learned how to do braids. But I loved every minute of it. Traveling all over with you and watching you do gymnastics is truly one of my greatest joys in life. And I didn't think I could be any more proud, but I was wrong, because when you made the tough decision to leave gymnastics, you made me even more proud. You knew you weren't totally happy with your life anymore, and at 12 years old, you were willing to make some big changes to fix that. Lots of adults can't even do that. This summer, you went to a month-long sleepaway camp for the first time. You didn't know anyone else going to Green Family Camp second session, and you said, "I'll be fine, Mommy, I'll make friends." I was nervous, but you knew what you were doing, and you had a blast. You also started a new school, Emory, started a new sport, volleyball, and discovered that you like dance. I thought my favorite thing was watching you do gymnastics, but now I know my favorite thing is just watching you enjoy your life. Also, during this past year, you realized how important Judaism is to you and that it was something you were really missing. By participating in Bat Mitzvah Club and the JCC events, you were able to reconnect with Jewish girls your age and the Jewish community. Your dedication to becoming a Bat Mitzvah has always been evident. You were not deterred by the fact that you never had time to attend Hebrew school because of gymnastics. You just committed to working with the tutor and studied almost every day to learn what you needed to know. So while yes, I am proud of the job you did here today, I'm even more proud of the life that you are creating for yourself and the Jewish woman that you are becoming. I guess you were right. We should trust you to make big decisions because they have all led us here to where we are today, this most precious moment.
Amy, that was great. Thank you for everything that you've done, Amy, to make this weekend possible. It truly could not have happened without you. Also, thanks to all of our friends and family that are here with us today. I know many of you were with us since the day Cookie was born, and looking out there, it's so wonderful for Amy and I to see, several of you that were with us, either at the hospital or at our home, with Cookie and Amy and I, and you're here today to celebrate this special moment with us. We're very touched, and thank you. A very special thanks to our nanny and truly a member of our family, Yolanda Rodriguez. She's been with us since, Cookie, I think, was 1 week old? Is that right? 1 month old. And she's really, truly a member of our family. And our family just doesn't work without you. So we're really happy that you can be here with us today, Yolanda. Cookie, we have always had such a really special relationship. Before you became obsessed with your phone and TikTok and Snapchat, I was your number one favorite person. From sneaking downstairs to have our midnight snacks, to our all-time favorite activity, picking on mommy, we have always been so close, and I know that will never change. You are fearless and dedicated. Everything you do, you make look easy and effortless, so we sometimes forget how hard you work. I remember countless times holding my breath, watching you go across the floor, the beam, praying that you wouldn't break your neck. And when you did fall, what did you always do? You always got back up, just like Rabbi Lyons said earlier. You always got back up, you finished strong, and you typically killed it on the next event. That attitude of perseverance will continue to serve you well in life, and this process of you becoming a bat mitzvah is no different. I could not be prouder of you tonight, watching you read from the Torah in front of all of our friends and family. Like everything in life, you worked hard, you were fearless, and you crushed it. Awesome job, Cookie. I know it's been a long week, it's been an even longer day, and I know we are both ready to go across the hall there and start the party. So I just want to tell you I love you big, Cookie. Congratulations, great job, you did great.
And now we invite you to come and stand here with me. We'll invite Jack to join us here too. We prepare to make Havdalah just as we enter the Sabbath day with blessings over the candles, the wine, and the challah. We'll bid farewell to the Sabbath with blessings over a braided candle to symbolize that all qualities in life are paired. The spice box, the rabbis teach that on the Sabbath we are given an added soul, a foretaste of the time when every day will be Shabbat. And so we take a smell of the spices, take with us into the week to come a little reminder of what is special about this day. And of course, the wine, a symbol of joy in our tradition. On page 308, you'll find the blessings for Havdalah. And as we conclude the blessings, we'll sing not Shabbat Shalom, but Shavua Tov. It should be a good week for each of us. And Eliyahu Hanavi, Elijah the prophet, who will herald the day when every day will truly be filled with peace and goodness. And we sing.
La 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen borei peri hagafen lai lai la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai lai ya la la lai 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam morei minei v'samim morei minei v'samim lai la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai lai ya la la lai 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei meorei ha'esh borei meorei ha'esh lai la 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 lai 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 ya la 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 lai lai ya la la lai lai Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavdil bein kodesh lechol hamavdil bein kodesh lechol hamavdil bein kodesh lechol chatotenu hu yimchol zarenu v'chasmenu yarbei kachol v'hakochavim balayla Shavua tov 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 a good week, a week of peace, may gladness reign and joy increase. A good week, a week of peace, may gladness reign and joy increase. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishvi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi, Bimera v'yameinu, Yahweh Im Moshiach ben David, Im Moshiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishvi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi.
Before we make our way to Wolftumum Hall behind us to party, as you are planning to do, Rabbi Scott will meet with all of Cookie's friends, those who are here in the sanctuary and those who might have left the room. Please remain in your places so Rabbi Scott can have a moment with you. To everybody else, Shavua Tov, a good week to everyone. Mazel Tov.